can we even sell this? Will people buy this? And so I said, well, why don't we just get a rendering?
Kind of like a product market fit test to make sure that there's actually a market for it.
Solely on Facebook, nothing else. Had so many sales in a week.
But now we can start nerding out about numbers. If you're open to sharing like CPAs.
Totally, yeah.
Okay, welcome back to another episode of Marketing on Mars, a podcast where we have real unfiltered conversations with marketing experts. Today, I'm super excited to have Nicole Parmar on as a guest. Nicole is the CEO, co-CEO, and founder of Gunkii.com. They call themselves the world's sexiest tongue scraper. Nicole is also the fastest hiker in Vancouver. Nicole, tell us a little bit about Gunkii. I want to start there, and then we'll kind of work backwards and talk more about your marketing background.
Yeah, so Gunkii, for somebody who may not know, is a tongue scraper. Tongue scraping is not new. I think it's newer to Western cultures, but tongue scraping has been used in Ayurvedic practices, in East Indian cultures, which is my husband's background, for many, many moons. And so one day after Picketic, our old company, had been acquired by Eventbrite, he was kind of kicking around the house, and he had been talking about tongue scraping for years. And he finally said, this is what I want to do. So he said, I want to start this company with you. Can you help me market it? Can you help me fundraise? And can we go? So the long and short, that is Gunkii tongue scraping.
So tongue scraping, basically, it's a device that scrapes gunk, etc., dirty things off of your tongue. Because a toothbrush sometimes might not be good enough, right? You're kind of spreading around dirty things all around your tongue, but the tongue scraper actually scrapes it off of your tongue. Am I correct?
Yeah. Simon, have we got you a Gunkii yet?
No, I have not. So,
what? Oh my God. Okay.
Maybe we're gonna have to.
Tomorrow we are changing that. Tomorrow we will change that. So tongue scraping. If you haven't, before my husband, I didn't tongue scrape. Before my husband, I typically just used the toothbrush to brush the teeth, obviously, but I also brush roof of mouth, cheeks, and under my tongue. And then my body hormones, everything just really changed after childbirth, and I started tongue scraping. And we call it disgustingly satisfying. It is gross what comes off your tongue. So I used to use my toothbrush a lot, but now when you use Gunkii, we made it black as well, just so you could see the dramatic effects, and it is disgustingly satisfying. And now if I don't tongue scrape, it feels as though I have not brushed my teeth.
And is that because the tongue captures the most like bacteria, because it's like kind of squishy material? Your teeth, it looks bad, but that's not where most of your bad breath comes from. It comes from your tongue, right?
Yeah, the bad breath comes from the tongue. So a lot of people that suffer from halitosis, bad breath, once they start tongue scraping and taking just a little bit more, I would say, or having more awareness about that, they can change it. So yeah, once you scrape the sulfurs, toxins, bacteria off your tongue, you remove the bad breath. It's really good for relationships, obviously.
Yeah, awesome. I just want to go backwards now a little bit. We'll talk more about Gunkii in a little bit and what's working for you guys. But I just want the audience to know kind of what you've been through as a marketer. You started off as at a clean tech accelerator program, right? Foresight, and then you became the growth marketer for Picketic, which is like an event, like API platform kind of thing, where you can explain more.
Yeah.
But Picketic got acquired, right? And then from there, you advised a couple of companies, some pretty successful companies. You had your own agency for a little bit, and then now you're at Gunkii. Fill in the blanks for me there.
So it's a very non-linear path of life here. I actually started life off as a teacher for the deaf. So I taught deaf children from kindergarten through grade 12 for 7.5 years. So that's where I started. And then we'll fast forward a couple of changes, and Jayesh had started Picketic in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And he was selected to go to a startup actually in San Francisco, and it was amazing. Rocket space. And so we went with a Canadian Technology Accelerator, and we just learned a lot. So Jayesh and his co-founder at the time were really kind, supportive, and very patient. So this is like 2010, 2011. Marketing obviously is not what it is now. So I got to really watch marketing unfold and learn it from the ground up. So we were in San Francisco, so all of our friends were in this space, and I was really fortunate to learn from what I will call who I think are the best of the best. And then from there, so I worked with Picketic. I worked for a few other companies, worked for a company in New York, worked for a couple companies in Toronto, which was great, really got my feet wet. And then we had our son. And while I was pregnant with him, I was helping Neil Huff at the Clean Technology Accelerator here in Burnaby. And then I worked for a couple of other marketing agencies just to really see what they did well, what they weren't doing well. And from there, I launched my own company. And that's been running for 9.5 years now. And still going strong, still great. Love our clients. I've definitely slowed it down though because of Gunkii. So we've only kept 4 now. So we have 4 of our ones that have been with us for quite some time. So helped Picketic, helped them launch. I was really fortunate I got to work with Trainerize. There's been just amazing companies I've had. I've watched grow, helped grow. It's been great.
Yeah. So you've been at the ground level for some of these companies all the way through to acquisition. So you kind of know what it takes in the beginning, what it takes in the ramp up stage, and also, in the scale up growth phase just before acquisition, right? So that's amazing. Gunkii, where we're at now, we're basically at the ground level, right? At the beginning.
That's fair. So Gunkii, we, I feel that we have ran into many of the hiccups that other startups have. We officially launched in 2020, but that was just a Kickstarter to see if we could get product market fit, to see if we could get sales. But then the world obviously shut down, COVID, shipping went crazy, backlogs, power outages in China, shipping costs. So we are about 30 days into a full-on marketing strategy / campaign for Gunkii. It's really fun. We're testing, we're learning, we're growing, we're on every single platform you can be. But we are very much in infancy stages here.
So how we found out about Gunkii, actually, it's amazing that's only been 30 days. We saw one of your TikTok videos get about 8 million views. And that's how it really caught our attention. So even though you guys started 30 days ago, you guys have already gone kind of viral. Like, tell us about the last 2 years. Like, what kind of things gone on in the last 2 years? I assume you did some marketing beforehand, right? Can you tell us a little bit about what happened before the launch?
We need a cocktail to get into this, but
Oh, yes, let's do it.
So before we even had a product, rewind like 10 minutes ago, you and I were talking, and I said my husband came downstairs and wanted to do this thing. So he was like, well, can we even sell this? Will people buy this? And so I said, well, why don't we just get a rendering? So our designer just did like this. She's an amazing designer. So she designed this tongue scraper. So we didn't have a product. We threw up a really crappy, and I do mean crappy, landing website just to see if we could convert. So I spent a week just on Facebook just to see impressions, obviously clicks, and cost of acquisition to see if we could make a go of this. And we had so many sales. Then we had
you guys ran PPC ads to this mock landing page?
Oh, we had to, right? Because otherwise we couldn't drive any traffic. So PPC ads solely on Facebook, nothing else. Had so many sales in a week. So we shut that down, had to refund everybody their money. And then we just kind of dove into this deep, dark rabbit hole. And I do mean that. So we started working with a company in Vancouver. They're lovely. But they couldn't get us to where we wanted. So we wanted one piece of aluminum, and we didn't use copper, but let's pin that and let's circle back to that. Mm-hmm. We wanted one piece of aluminum. We didn't want it with anything else, no mixed metals with it, and no silicone. So we went down this path of calling everybody. I was calling people who did silicone, people who did metals, people, you name it, I was calling, just dialing for dollars here on the phone. And we finally found a company who pointed us in the right direction. We tested 8 different factories, got that down to 3, and then chose one to work with, but we keep one as a backup because, as I mentioned before too, when we launched, China had an energy crisis. So our manufacturing company went from working all day, every day, 24/7 to being open one day for 18 hours.
Holy smokes.
So then that was a hard lesson learned for us because we just had one manufacturing plant at the time. So we're like, hey, we always need to hold a backup so that at least we can kind of go back and forth between the two. And we chose those 2 specifically because quality assurance. So we have a quality assurance team and they do a great job making sure the product is to our standard.
Wow. So that was all 2 years ago. You guys ran kind of like a product market fit test to make sure that there's actually a market for it, right? You did that.
We did.
That was 2 years ago. You found out that there was a market. You ran ads. So ads is the main marketing channel for you guys currently?
Yeah, so we do a lot of PPC. We have affiliate marketing, we have influencers. What I'm testing out right now, this is again very early, but the
Yeah.
creator market space on TikTok seems to be going really well for us. We're
Mm.
also going after a B2B play. So we're targeting a lot of dental corps and what dentists are doing now, rather than giving out materials like plastic toothbrushes, they're using Gunkii and they're giving that to patients.
Wow. So that's a very expensive gift to give to patients, right? So are they usually larger dentists that you're working with, or?
Actually, one of the ones in Calgary is not that large.
Okay.
So obviously, we give it to them at a wholesale cost. They're not paying the $29 that we charge the
I
public
see.
for.
I
It's a
see.
wholesale cost. But for them, when you think about the LTV on a dental patient, $18 isn't really, you know, a big
Right.
cost.
Right. Right. And so you're basically using dentists as kind of like your influencers, right?
Yeah, kind of. But we're using dentists too to help educate the public. So
Mm,
I take a lot of my dental advice from my dentist. I don't really Google things about what to do in my mouth specifically.
yeah.
So we're using dentists to also change the narrative and to educate people. So if you go to your dentist and
Interesting.
all they tell you is to brush and floss, that's what you'll do. But if dentists now are recommending, which they are, a lot of them, if they're recommending tongue scraping, you're probably going to add that to your regime, right?
Mm, right.
And
Right.
the
That's
feedback we've
true.
had is amazing. So we've had people that have been tongue scraping and they've gone to their dentist, and their dentist has asked what has changed because there's no plaque, there's no buildup, there's nothing. And so we've even had intros to dentists based on patient behavioral changes, and then introducing us to dentists.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So let me recap here. Marketing channels currently, you got Facebook advertising, you got TikTok
Google.
campaigns, but you got Google
Yep.
as well. Which of those
Yep.
channels are the most profitable? You can talk about. Now we can start nerding out about numbers. If you're open to
Okay.
sharing, like
Totally.
CPAs
Yeah.
and
Let's nerd out
ROIs.
about numbers.
Okay, cool. Which one is the best for you in terms of all these channels?
So right now our 2 best channel, well, 3, I will put them in a tie right now. Remember, this is pretty new data to us, but
Right.
we are doing a great job on TikTok, Google with an asterisk around Google Performance Max ads. We're not doing such a good job on our remarketing, and we'll talk about those numbers. And then Facebook.
Mm,
Um, so TikTok is great because it's like an instantaneous purchase. People will see it, they'll see the effects, they'll buy right away. A lot of user generated content, so UGC is on there. The creator market has been great for us. And then what we've done on Google is we have our cost of acquisition costs to about $4. I'm hovering right around that $4 mark. That's for specifically the Performance Max ad campaign. So that's video,
wow.
static ad, dynamic ad, search ad. Um, if you look at our remarketing, though, I had our cost of acquisition for that at $36. So we're not obviously
Whoa.
profitable at that if we continued that.
How does
Within
how
15
does that
days,
work? How does that work? Usually, your remarketing is a lower CPA,
It's a lot cheaper. Yeah,
then
I've got it
yeah.
down to 50. Yeah, good question. So I've got that down to about $15 in 10 days, and now it's about 7. But it's because people click, 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 but we don't get that sale, right? So then
Um,
I take it in terms of like full funnel. So if I've spent $36 and we have one customer, to me, that was the cost of acquisition. It took me $36 to get you back in there. So that wasn't sustainable for us. We did a lot of tests and a lot of changes in order for that to happen. And then Facebook was kind of, I wasn't really seeing the return on ad spend for quite some time. So I changed my targeting. So what I did was I took the verticals. So instead of just going after a female demographic in the United States that was 25 years of age, et cetera, et cetera. Instead, what I did was took that information, but I just started siloing it into verticals. So I would say, do all of this, but only show it to people interested in yoga. Do all of this, but now only show it to
oh.
people who are interested in oral care. And when I started siloing and getting the different, what I'll call verticals, that's when I started to see great success on Facebook. And so our Facebook cost of acquisition is about $3 right now.
Holy smokes. And for those of you that are listening, $4 and $3 in the e-commerce space for CPA is absolutely amazing. Uh, I think if you search anywhere online, I think the average. I've worked with a lot of different brands in the past, and CPAs are probably around 17 $20 maybe is a good CPA. It depends on the industry, but it seems like you guys got it nailed down. And I think the creative really you guys tested out a bunch of different creatives too, right?
Oh yeah, we've tested a lot of creative. But the other thing that we've done is we've really come at this like we've kind of we look at this really differently. Everything comes down to cost of acquisition and in terms of profit for us. So how we look at everything is what's our order the average order value. Sorry for the stutter there.
Yeah.
Then we also looked at our product, what our product costs. Then we went through all of our cogs, and we really want to tighten this up. So our average order value is $34 right now. We're trying to move that needle to get it to 35.
Okay.
Our product costs about $10 to get here. So marketing, we've put out about $4 per cost of acquisition, and delivery $8. We've really
Mm.
tightened up our delivery, and so our profits are like $12 on a solo. So that's probably, well, not probably, that is our lowest profit margin per SKU. So we really like selling those solos and those wolf packs. But so we're really just trying to focus everything on a unit economic and a cost of acquisition in order to tighten everything.
Mm.
And in terms of shipping, as I mentioned, we got our shipping costs down because we were shipping out of Canada. So we have a warehouse here and we were shipping across Canada.
Mm.
And then we found out if we just use our 3PL deliver in the United States, they can do it for almost half the cost.
Oh
So we
wow.
were paying on average $13 to $17 to ship products from Vancouver to Toronto or further. And for them to pick, pack, and ship our product from somewhere like Chicago to Toronto costs us $9.
Wow.
So we've
So
been
that
really
so that
streamlining
$17 is
everything.
just for shipping, not even picking and packing, right? So you got to include
Right,
all that.
because we were doing the picking and packing ourselves, right?
Right.
And the 17, well, 13 to $17 was just postage.
And it's not sustainable because you also have your CPA to acquire the customer. You also got your COGS and everything. That's just not sustainable long term.
Yeah, so when you tell me
Yeah.
people are paying $17 for a cost of acquisition right now, that's blowing my mind, because I also think if they have to pay $17 for shipping and then if they have to pay for product, what are those margins for the other companies?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's average. That's the average CPA. But you guys have gotten down packed. It might also be because you guys are in a less competitive space. Maybe that's you guys found like a pretty good niche. But whatever you guys are doing, those are incredible numbers. Talk to us about, if you can, how many users right now do you have of Gunkii? How many Gunkiers, or what? Do you have like a nickname for people using Gunkii products?
No, but I think we need to start. I don't know how many we have right now, like in terms of actual users. Um, I didn't even pull that data. Sorry, we have quite a few. We have a really big database also because we did a Kickstarter. So in
Mm.
order to kickstart this product back in 2020, we hit our our target within 8 hours of being up and running. So we had 8 people, or sorry, not 8 people. We had 8 hours and we sold out. So we have sales in 50, 60 plus countries now all over the world.
Amazing, amazing. And you guys are
Yeah,
only 30 days in, so we're looking forward to talking to you and maybe hearing, getting an update maybe in another 6 to 8 months and seeing how you guys are doing then. Um,
absolutely.
so, so do you think that the number one marketing tip for like if a brand were to come up to you right now, because I know you do some consulting as well, what would be your number
Yeah.
one tip for B2C marketing today in you know where we're at today?
Yeah. So I would say if you're a brand new market and you're really trying to find your niche, your tribe, I would test every single platform. So the first thing you can do is small batch testing, get really granular, get really specific, and find out where you can make the biggest impact. For us, I feel it's TikTok specifically because it's newer, right? Like I feel Facebook is a really saturated market. So unless you know what you're doing on Facebook, you are going to get kind of drowned out by the sound. And I also feel Instagram is pretty congested right now too. So I would
Absolutely.
even go back to some old school testing like Twitter or Pinterest if your audience is there. But test. Be Real could be a great one for people too because it's new.
Amazing, amazing. Well, Nicole, thank you so much for joining. I personally learned a lot about marketing with through you, and we're excited that we got you on in such so early on in your journey at Gunkii, and looking forward to hearing some more amazing updates. If we wanted to learn more, I mean, first of all, are there anything else that we should look for with Gunkii? Well, like, what's the next milestone that we should be looking for?
Oh yeah, I guess our next milestone is we want to add product pipeline. So we're looking into some R&D right now, trying to figure out what our next steps will be there, and then different colors.
Oh, nice. So instead of black, maybe like dark green or dark red or something like that.
If you had to guess what the most number one voted color that people want, what do you think it would be?
Oh my goodness, that is a tough one. White? No.
It's rose gold.
Rose gold. That would be
So
very nice.
everybody wants a rose gold tongue scraper. So
That would be
here we
amazing.
are.
Okay,
Yep,
cool. Well, we're looking forward to that. And so if you're interested, search up gunkii.com. Am I correct?
got it. I love it.
Okay.
Thank you.
gunkii.com. Thank you so much, Nicole, for joining, and we'll talk to you soon.